Yeah, another episode.
Yeah, episode number
Okay.
24.
That's
So this is weird to me. You figure if we're releasing an episode every other week, you would think 24, 25 episodes somewhere in there. Well, no, it would be 26, wouldn't it? 26 or 27, 52 weeks in a year divided by 2 would be 26.
That's right.
Okay, so we have 2 more episodes before we hit the year mark. Because I think, what did I say, like mid-August or something like that is our official 1-year anniversary?
Yeah, you did. And I do remember around August we started this.
Yeah, but
Well, actually, it was planned way before that, but
well, we started talking about it like a long time before we actually got this up off the floor. But yeah, no, for some reason I was like, oh, 24, 25, that's half a year. That's, and then all of a sudden I was thinking about it. I'm like, wait a second. We didn't start till August. How does that math out?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we all know that math and time travel is hard.
That's true.
Speaking
I wouldn't bet. I wouldn't bet a donut on it.
Yeah, speaking of time travel, so this doesn't come out until the end of June, the end of June, 26th.
I think it's
Or 29th?
the 29th.
Yeah,
Yes,
the 29th. But today is Father's Day. That's the day we're recording. So happy Father's Day, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Doing anything special today other than recording?
No, not really. I mean, well, I'm trying to electrocute myself.
Yeah, well, I try not to do that every once in a while.
Right. I got to replace a switch in the house here, and it's just. Oh well, enough said about that. So
Yeah.
it's going well, but I got some more work to do on it. After the episode, I'll continue it.
There you
Continue
go.
Working on it.
There you go. We're just throwing this together, and I forgot to jump or pop open the soundboard. So I'm going to play some intro music.
Go for it.
Welcome back to the Pandemic Guitar Podcast, the podcast all about guitars, musicians, music, and everything we enjoy about those topics. I'm one of your hosts, Tim, and with me this episode is Dad, or as you would call him, Rick. Only I get to call him Dad. Well, and Amanda, too. Rick, how are you?
I am doing pretty good. As I said, I'm still alive. I did not electrocute myself, so that's a good sign.
That's good, because I don't want to end this thing too quickly.
That's true. Yeah.
Amanda's not with us this week. She is on special research assignment.
Yes, she is. Only the NSA knows where she is.
the NSA, what is it, MI6?
Yeah, MI6 if you're overseas. Yeah.
Special Forces, Space Force. That nobody knows what she's doing, but I'm sure she's doing something important. So it's just going to be me and you this
Right.
episode.
Hopefully it won't be boring.
Well,
No, we got a lot.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about.
what are we going to, as I take a drink of my coffee, what are we going to talk about?
Well, I guess I had a fellow approach me a few weeks ago, and well, actually about a month ago, really, and he talks about he was just talking about how he did something. This really blew my mind. He said he changed the knobs on his guitar, and it sounded different.
What?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like,
how did it sound different?
I
did
said-
it
I
just
said-
not have the
I said the
crackle
same thing.
anymore?
I said the same thing. I said, how did you? I said, you changed the potentiometers or the pots underneath didn't you? And he says, no. He says, I just changed the knobs on the top, and he says it sounds different. And I said, what were you drinking that day?
Just
I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
they're very
You know,
special tonal knobs.
Yeah. So then he started asking me a little bit about what the difference between passive and non-passive pickups are. So I basically explained what I knew about them and figured maybe we should do an episode on them.
All right, yeah. I think we've kind of talked about this, not on the show, but just in conversation, because I was actually looking at a guitar that, not passive, not active. Is it active passive?
Well, they have passive and they have active.
Okay. So is that non-passive? Is that the same thing, or is that completely different?
I've never heard of non-passive other than other than if it's not passive, it's active.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe I just heard wrong or something. It sounded like you said
I mean,
passive, non-passive.
you could probably. I never tried it before, but it is a possibility that you could take a. Well, you can't take a passive pickup. Well, let me figure this out.
Well, okay. First, let's just tell me what's what. What is you're saying? Passive, active, right?
Active pickups usually have a circuitry that's within inside the guitar, and it's usually it requires some sort of battery or something to apply voltage to the circuit that activates the pickup to allow the pickup to make noise. Usually they're a higher output type pickup.
Okay.
Where a passive pickup is generally considered the more it's a more versatile pickup. It's basically a lot of the guitars have passive pickups because the active pickup is really more expensive. So the manufacturer really doesn't want to put that much money into it, so they put the passive pickups in it.
Right. So the passive pickups are like what you typically see, what you typically have. Like I'm pretty sure that all of my guitars are passive.
I think so.
They don't require any batteries or any type of additional power. It's plug it in and play.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And that's the same with mine.
Okay. So then you have active pickups, which require a 9-volt battery.
Well, yeah, they could require a 9-volt. They require some sort of power supply.
Okay, fair enough. But why?
Well, the pickup. Usually, what happens is the pickup requires some sort of circuit to give it that oomph, or to energize the pickup to make the pickup work correctly.
Okay.
So let me give you an example. Like I'll take the old single coils. You ever hear like a lot of the old players when they plug the guitar in and they got a Stratocaster and they have just the one pickup on. So they have it. The position is either, if they have a 5-position switch, it's either all the way forward or all the way back or in the middle. Mm-hmm. So that would just be one pickup, not the both of them together.
Right.
So if you have the one pickup and you get a lot of hissing noise from the pickup, you ever hear of that?
I probably have. I mean, I can't recall, but I'm sure I have.
Right. So what happens is that manufacturers have figured out a way that if they wind the pickup a little differently and use the active pickup with a preamp on it, they can cut down on that hissing noise. So to make them more cleaner. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That makes sense to me. Because when I was doing the research on, I think it was a Schecter.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I read was that it's a cleaner sound.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. I mean, they don't tell me how that works or anything like that. They just basically say it's a cleaner sound. What turned me off to it, because I'm like, okay, cleaner sound, whatever, is that it requires a power source.
Right.
Like a 9-volt battery. And B, every time I switch out the battery, I have to unscrew this particular one, you had to unscrew the cover to get to the battery. But I do know that there are some out there that's just like a clip door that you can just pry open.
Right. The clip door is better.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I think it depends on where the battery is located. If it's in back of the guitar, I think I've seen where it's screwed. It has one screw to hold it in, because your belt buckle or something might hit the door and open it up. And if the battery falls out, well, there goes you'd have to stop and put the battery back in and go from there.
Right. I guess my whole thing is take away the door or the access panel to get to the power source.
Okay.
My whole thing is that in the case of 9-volt batteries, they're super expensive.
They are.
And they don't last very long.
Yeah. No, I know that. And unless you take and you unplug the battery or do something with it, then I think it goes in a short amount of time. It doesn't last very long. That's one thing I don't like about the active pickups. I do like that you can on a single coil pickup, or even a humbucker. When you have the humbucker crank, you have the humbucker cranked up, you have the amp cranked up, you can hear a little bit of a hiss. It's not like the Stratocaster, the single coil pickup, but you have the active pickup in there, and it does keep it keep the noise level down when you're not playing.
Yeah, and that would be because you said you don't have any guitars with the active pickups.
No, I don't.
No?
I was thinking about getting. I have a Chevelle, and they make that particular model I have with an active pickup system and without. I got it without. I just got the passive. So, as a matter of fact, I think it has Seymour Duncans in it. I think is the pickups it has in there.
So if you're just sitting there tooling around and you're not hooked up to any electronics, an amp or anything, they would still sound the same, active versus passive, right?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, like if I'm just sitting here, guitar on my lap, and I'm just playing around,
not plugged into an amplifier,
not plugged into anything. It's just you're just sitting here. It would sound the same, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I was wondering if because now that I'm saying it, I kind of feel a little silly, but I didn't know if when you're on a passive, you're tooling around, you're just practicing whatever, not hooked up to anything. You can hear what you're playing nice and bright and clear. I didn't know if maybe because the pickups in the active guitar didn't have any power, any way to magnify the sound. I didn't know if maybe it'd be quieter.
The guitar itself, whether it have active or passive pickups in it, makes no difference if you're playing without an amplifier. The only time that they come into play is with an amplifier. Okay? I mean, technically, if you think about it, when you're strumming on a guitar not plugged into an amp, really all it's resonating is the wood and the strings and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So there's no electronics involved there. Now, I do know that they do make some things where I think there was a company a long time ago that made something that went on the back of an electric guitar, and it sort of like it had a suction cup on the back, and it took the resonating sound from the guitar, and it amplified it. So I mean, there are devices like that, but that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're trying to create something new or a new way to do something, it's cool, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I know they have something similar to that for the acoustic guitar, where it goes on the back, and then you can have like it has a suction cup or something on there, and it does the same thing, same principle, and it has reverb and a bunch of delay and a bunch of things in it that sound really cool.
Well, is that just another way to kind of, because we've talked about how a lot of these electric acoustic guitars, you plug them in and they don't sound good. Like some of them, like mine, I have the Fender Tim Armstrong Hellcat.
Right.
And when I plug it in electric, I have to crank the volume to 11 just to be able to hear it.
Really?
Yeah, like I am not impressed with the electronic side of the acoustic guitar at all on that particular model. And I don't know if it's a defect on mine and mine alone, or if it's all of them. I don't know.
Well, you've replaced the strings on that, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I'm on my third set. You have the manufacturer strings, which I took off immediately.
Right.
And then I replaced them. And then, I don't know, a year later probably, because I didn't play it a lot at first. Because for me, it's kind of a collector's guitar.
Okay.
So I've been playing it a lot more now. So I've recently put a new set of strings on it.
Okay, so when you put the new set of strings, did the bridge, there's a little white, looks like ivory, it's probably plastic. Has that popped out on you?
No, I mean, it's well built.
No. I mean, it should come out, but I'm just saying is that when you put the strings on there, there's usually a pickup underneath that bridge.
Yeah, it's like a wire that sits right underneath that bridge.
Yeah, it could be like a cellophane or a wire or something like that.
Well, I don't know on this particular acoustic, but I have a project acoustic that I've been tinkering around with.
Right.
And that is like a mesh wire that sits underneath the bridge and then goes down into the body.
Right. And if that has to be sitting flat, and then the bridge itself, whether it be nylon or plastic or bone, the material has to sit square and firmly on that.
I assume
on that metal mesh.
I assume it is. I didn't I didn't mess with it. I mean, it didn't pop out on me or anything like that. I just changed strings.
Yeah, that's what. See, something similar to happened on mine. The Ibanez, I did some bridge work on it, so I pulled the bridge. I only pulled when I'm talking about the bridge. I'm talking about the white ivory piece that spans all the strings.
Right.
And what I did is I pulled it out and I sanded it down, and because I wanted to lower the action on it, got it down to a real nice thing. But when I put it in there, I didn't realize it, but the sixth string, which is the low E string, the bridge didn't sit all the way down into the. I'm sorry, the bone didn't sit all the way down into the bridge. So what happened was it was up a little bit because it was wedged up on the side.
Oh.
And the sound was atrocious.
Huh. I'll have to take a look at that because I plugged it in probably right after. Well, obviously I changed the factory strings.
Right.
And then I plugged it in. I'm like, ugh, why bother? And I just haven't played with it. I haven't plugged it in. I'm like, it's pretty loud on its own.
Right, yeah. Well, what about the battery? Have you checked the battery?
Well, there's no battery in it now because it's a 9-volt battery.
Yeah.
And
but the thing about
as soon as
a low
it died,
battery,
I was like, I'm not even going to bother putting a new one in there because why?
Yeah, but a low battery will cause the same problem too.
Could be.
And then
Or
how about
could.
the cable? How about the cable? Was it a decent cable going into the amp?
Yes, it was a decent cable.
Okay, I'm just.
I take those. I like my Mitchell. What is it? My mini Mitchell.
Yeah.
M150 or whatever it is. That one came with a cable. And
Okay.
it didn't even come out of the plastic. It went straight into the trash.
I got you. Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I'm pretty sure that I think all my cables except for one are Fender cables.
I mean, I'm just checking the quality. That's all. I mean, sometimes I've had it where even a high quality cable, you plug a high quality cable into an amp, and instead of pulling it by the metal piece, the cover of the jack, you pull it by the cable itself, and after a while it rips out, and it gives you all sorts of headaches. And I've had that problem before.
Yeah. Well, I do need to sit down, like actually spend some time with you and learn how to do some of that techie stuff. I mean, I've figured out how to do a little bit of the electronic work. Obviously I don't know how to wind pickups. But I did what is the my Samick.
Right.
I bought all the new pots, new knobs, all those electronics, and I followed the directions, soldered it together. It works, but what I didn't know, because I followed the directions, is that my volume and tone knob are backwards.
Oh, okay.
So, but I mean, I could take it apart and wire it in reverse so that they're the way that they should be. But at this point, I've just gotten used to it.
Right. Yeah, you should wire it correctly.
Well, I wired it according to the instructions.
Right.
Apparently, they were Australian instructions because they were upside down.
Yeah. But, getting back on the subject of, well, I mean, basically we're still on the subject of pickups and stuff like that.
Like
But if
a couple squirrels in a dog park.
Yeah. If you do decide to go from the active to the passive pickups or vice versa or anything like that, I mean, one of the skills that you should learn is soldering, because I've seen some atrocious soldering on some of these. I mean,
Coming from the manufacturer, or
even the manufacturer.
yeah,
I've seen some cold joint solder from manufacturers. I've seen it where, matter of fact, I think on that project guitar you have, the one guy didn't even solder the jack on. He replaced the jack. Remember that?
yeah, he just had the wire wrapped around.
Wrapped around it. Yeah.
But that's not the manufacturer fault. That just means that somebody somewhere decided to make some modifications.
Yeah, and it's like when I went and I picked up the guitar because I got a really good price on it. It's like they said to me, it's like, well, when you turn the volume control knob, well, the nut that holds the potentiometer in was a little on the loose side, so you can move it. Well, when you move that, it moved the wire underneath, which moved the connection on the jack, which created static.
I mean, maybe that was the type of music that the previous owner was into.
I don't know, but it's sort of like they said, oh, yeah, they told me, oh, it probably needs a switch and it probably needs some electric work. And I'm like, cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's fun. That was one of the things. I mean, that's for me. That's why I really like finding awesome deals online or even at the store. Anytime I can find an awesome deal where, maybe it doesn't look brand new. Maybe like I saw this one Telecaster, Samick Telecaster,
Right.
at the local shop, and I kicked myself in the rear because it was just absolutely gorgeous. Didn't like it looked worn, like used, but it was just
Right.
gorgeous. And it just needed a really thorough cleaning, but that's why I like that used stuff, is because then I don't feel bad about digging into it and figuring out, okay, is everything connected right, and learning basically.
Right. Well, the used stuff is, I like it. I like it too. I try to buy new, but lately it's been some of the QA stuff coming in. The new stuff has been pretty poor.
Right.
I've been,
I like
I've been
new,
hearing
too.
that there's a major manufacturer there that is having problems with I think it's, I'm not going to mention any names, okay, but
Okay.
they are a major manufacturer. They're a game player in the guitars, and you take the strings off, and if you turn the guitar upside down, the bushings on the tuning pegs fall out.
Wow.
And also another manufacturer's got problem with nuts. Well, I'm sorry, nut. No, the nut on the top. You take the strings off, and or you put on you take all the strings off, and there's several people complaining on some of the news groups about this. And it's a major manufacturer, and they put the high E string in there, and they tune it up, and the nut. All of a sudden, they hear the nut go crack. It moves the whole nut off the top of the guitar.
Yeah, I've seen that. My Samick, that nut was. I don't think there was. You could tell that there was some form of bonding glue or something there at one point in time. But yeah, I mean, all I had to do was put just a little bit of side to side pressure on it, and it just popped right off. And I was like, oh,
I mean,
okay,
they should come out.
right, but they
really
shouldn't.
don't need that much glue.
Right. Yep. Just put 2 or 3 little drops on there, and you're good.
Right. But they're not even, I mean, I don't know what they're using. I mean, maybe they're using toothpaste. I have no idea.
Toothpaste. Yeah. Okay. Well, at least, I mean, your teeth are bone. At least they're keeping it clean.
That's true, and it won't decay.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Let's, if I were in the market for an active pickup guitar.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, first off, would you play, like, is there a genre that it's really designed for? Or is it just, play whatever?
I get play whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
to give you an example, a lot of people out there think that heavy metal is like only for active pickups and stuff like that, and those high output ones are the ceramic ones, the high output ceramic pickups also. But I think that it's up to your own taste. Whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you like, that's what you should get. I mean, whether it be passive or whether it be active, it makes no difference. It's what you feel comfortable, what you like to play. But
Yeah.
metal, rock, I mean, there are a lot of guitarists that have active pickups out there, and they're in all different types of. There's blues people, there's rock, there's pop, there's metal, there's heavy metal. I mean,
Yeah,
they
because
all got them.
I mean, when I go out and I see the guitars with active pickups, they tend to have that heavy metal, what I picture as a heavy metal hard rock look to them. Like they're just like
Right.
sharp edge, like not really sharp edges, but compared to a regular Strat, the horns are sharp, and
Yeah.
so it just
Yeah, well,
kind of gives you that oh well, that's heavy metal.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people think that way, but no, you don't. It doesn't have to be heavy metal or metal or anything like that. Pickups are pickups. Basically, it's just what the sound you want to create. that's what you do. That's what you use,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be active or it be passive. I mean, you can go as far as like, I mean, back in the days before the active pickups came out, people were using P90s because they offer P90 is a single coil pickup, but they offer a lot of lot more windings on it, so they offer a louder, more crunchier, more louder sound. So.
I've heard P90, but I've never really like, okay, it's just a type of pickup or something.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tony Lamone from Black Sabbath. He's his monkey is what he called it. I think it was an SG Junior, if I'm not mistaken, but it had P90s on it. I mean, that's what he used.
How much are P90s? Are they active or passive?
They're active. I'm sorry, they're passive.
Okay.
But they don't require any battery or anything like that. They're easy to get a hold of when they have them in stock, mind you.
Mm.
That's another problem here and there. You can't. They're not as popular as the humbuckers, but they're basically a single coil pickup on steroids. Is really what it is.
Oh yeah. Okay. And trying to find these parts,
Right.
that is kind of a pain in the butt, especially
It
the
is.
higher end parts.
Uh-huh.
But can you? Okay, so let's say that I have a guitar that currently has passive pickups. Can I put active pickups in it?
Yep, you can.
Okay, I just got to figure out where I'm going to put that battery or that power source.
Right. Some of the guitars you can put them in the back. You can like on a Strat, you might be able to put it underneath where the pickup is, especially if you get the swimming pool type. Remember, I think there was an episode.
Yeah, it's where like your entire pickup cavity is carved out, even though you're only using 2 pickups. You could put 3 in there.
Yes, yeah, they're made for those. The ones with the big pool in the middle are made for either 3 single pickups, 2 singles, or a humbucker, single and a humbucker. I mean, they're made for any type of configuration. So there would be enough room in there for a battery. So, but the only thing is you'd have to pull the cover off every time the battery went bad.
I was going to say that would be the pain of it, is every time you wanted to swap the battery, you would have to pull the entire, I'm drawing a blank. What the heck do you call it? The pick guard. You'd have to, the whole thing you'd have to take out.
Yep. You could do it in some of the guitars have where they have access to the volume and tone through the back. You could probably put it back there.
Yeah. I mean, I
Now,
guess if you wanted to go MacGyver on it, I guess, or MacGruber. If you want to go real MacGruber on it, suppose you could just have wires going out and then maybe have a little pouch on your guitar strap for the battery.
Another way that you could do it, I've seen where people take on the back of the Strat, they put a block in there and they remove the string. They put a block in and remove the springs, and they put the battery in there, and somebody makes a cover that will do that. So in other words,
Wait. Okay, so now you're going from a floating bridge to a fixed bridge.
yes.
Okay.
And what you're doing is you're blocking the bridge. You're putting wood in the bridge so that the bridge doesn't float. Okay. And then where the springs are, there's somebody makes a back cover that you have a little door, an access door that you can get into there. I forgot who the company was, but I did see one like that.
That's kind of neat, just to be able to take an instrument and be like, okay, I want to do this with it, and then be able to just figure it out. Although personally, when you get into that heavy of a modification, I would probably just go out and buy another guitar.
That is true. Yeah. And it reminds me, I did work a long time ago, probably about 8 years ago, maybe. I did work on a guitar. It was somebody I know, and he had active pickups in it. It was made for passive, and what he did was he took and he changed out the jack to a stereo jack. So he used a cable that was a stereo cable instead of the single mono. TRS jack type. He went stereo, and what happened was that the middle ring, he ran that as 9 volts to his pickup, to the preamp.
Interesting.
So then what he did is on the ground, he built himself a little tiny box. He plugged the guitar in there, and he had a 9-volt battery in there, and he ran another wire up to the amplifier.
That just, that I think that wins the MacGruber Award.
Yes, it's the
That
I'm not going to
sounds-
say it, but it was a chop shop type deal.
Yeah, it sounds really, really Frankenstein-like.
Yeah, Frankenstein. That's the best word for it. I should have thought of that. Frankenstein. Yep.
Sitting here trying to figure out safe words.
Yes, I know. That's Or I've even seen it where people on a Stratocaster, they take the 2 wires, the ground and the 9-volt, and they where the edge where it comes out on the very bottom of the guitar where the pick guard is. They just leave it on over the body, and then they put the pick guard on top of it, and then they just leave that little hump in there so that the wires come out. I've seen that.
Huh.
So, I mean, there's a bunch of ways. You just got to be creative.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, you could probably just have the wires coming out from the between the body and the pick guard, and then just Velcro 9-volt battery to the bottom.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what the guy did. Yeah, but he did it to the back of the guitar. He put the Velcro on the back and ran the wire around the back.
See, it's neat to hear and see all the different ways that people make modifications to their instruments. Because I mean, they got to do it to other, not just guitars, but just about any instrument, you would think.
Yep, it's the creativeness in the guitarist.
So, what are some of the different active pickups? Because I mean, passive. I mean, I know we've talked about passive before, and there's a million of them out there, and it's easy to find. I found it was super easy to find information about passive pickups. But active pickups, it almost seems more like it's kind of cultish, where it's like there's people who are really into it, and they have all that knowledge, and it's kind of hard to get it from them.
Yeah, I agree too. There's this thing with guitar players that when something new comes out, they're very reluctant to try it, and a lot of the old players are like that, and including me. I mean, there's a lot of things out there that I'm like, people will say to me, "Hey, try this or try that, or here, bring it home and try it out, and then bring it back in a week or so. Let me know what you think." And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I'm happy with what I got.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, I would be, I would, maybe, I don't know. I don't need any more guitars, but I don't know. Maybe I might get one with a active pickup set on it. I don't know. See how it is, and if I don't like it, return it right away.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about like the pickups and then taking those home, wiring them in.
No, I'm talking about a whole nother guitar.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that,
in
that would
other
be
words,
easier.
because there are places out there, guitar stores out there that allow you to purchase something, and you can bring it back in 45 days or whatever it is.
Yeah,
50
return
days.
policy, what have you.
Yeah,
I was
if you
just
don't like it.
Yeah, I was just looking at the James Hetfield, the EMG JH Het set,
Right.
and they look pretty cool. They're what, $250 as of this recording at this it's emgpickups.com.
Right.
So I mean, that's kind of cool, and it looks like they have different shades.
Yeah, and that's I think
cap cover.
EMG just I think came out with them or revised them, or I'm thinking that they just came out with new ones for James Hetfield, but they're actually pretty good pickups.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, the pictures that they're showing on the site they're okay. Wait a second here. I'm just scrolling through. Oh, this comes with like the whole hardware.
Okay,
That
which should be.
I mean, no, I'm saying that according to the pictures, without reading the actual description or anything like that, it looks like it comes with like the knobs, the input jack, the everything you need, and it looks like this is cool. I don't have anything that uses this, but
Right.
I think this is really cool. Like, this is just whoever invented this should get some sort of an award if they haven't. But the quick connect disconnect, so you could literally just hot swap pickups just by connecting
Yes.
to almost like plugging in a hard drive to your computer. I think that's brilliant.
I was going to say that instead of soldering, when I got on the soldering thing there, I sort of forgot that they do have the quick connect. There are manufacturers out there that do that, and it is so much nicer.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it because then, like, for me, that makes perfect sense. Like, you have a guitar and you can have a loaded pick guard with this setup and a loaded pick guard with this setup. And it's so much easier to swap it out because you just have to disconnect 1-2 cables and you're done.
Yep. So what else does it have? It comes with the battery holder and the preamp and stuff?
Let's see. Okay, hold on. So first off, it says, so when I'm just looking at the pictures, right, it has a couple pictures of the pickups, gold, chrome, gold, black chrome, brushed, the different types of covers.
Right.
Then it has a picture of like it has the quick connect, like the circuit board. It has the 9-volt battery thing. It comes with 4 knobs, volume, tone, all that stuff.
Right.
Comes with some wires. I mean, that's what it's showing me via pictures. But let's see. Okay, so if I go to checkout, I can choose my cap color, which is like your chrome, gold, what have you.
Which one makes you play better?
Gold, rose gold, always rose gold.
Rose gold.
String spacing, standard 2-o-matic, tune-o-matic, which is 49 millimeters.
Right.
Or Trem Floyd Fender 52 millimeters. Okay, so that's probably your spacing for your poles.
Yep, probably.
Okay. All right. And then you have your potentiometer shaft length. Short, which is your standard 10 millimeter, and then your long, which is your Les Paul 19 millimeter. So that's all they tell you.
Okay. On a lot of this stuff, what you should do is, or what you should get when you're buying that type of a kit, there should be some sort of like a switch that you drill in your pick guard, and it's switched to energize the active pickups or not.
Okay, so in the box for this is, again, we're talking about the JH headset EMG, right?
Right.
In the box, you get 2 25K volume pots, 2 25K tone pots, 1 battery bus, 1 stereo output jack, 2 pickup in and out bus. I'm assuming that's the circuit board.
Right. Could be, yeah.
Yeah, 2 pair mounting screws and springs, 2 pickup cables, 4 connect cables, 1 output cable, 1 battery cable. And they have the instructions here. Oh, yeah, it tells you. Those are really nice instructions, too. I mean, full color, tells you how to connect everything, gives you a couple different options. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they put a lot of effort into so that you could just swap it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could take your passive pickups and put actives in there. So they put a lot into that.
Yeah, the only thing is, like you said, you gotta, if you're taking a current passive setup, you got to figure out where you're going to put that battery.
I think originally the EMG 8185s were the original active pickups that they had for some of the more expensive guitars. And I see that they actually have a small battery that's included with them, but I don't see where you put the battery. So,
well, okay, small battery. I mean, is it a 9-volt or is it 2 AAAs or
looks like lithium ion?
What, like a watch battery?
No, a little bigger than that.
And then, okay, so you're looking at the EMG 8185. Was that like a set? You get 181, 185, or?
Yes, yeah. You get 181, 185. It's a set, but they also have a thing, some sort of battery connector here. I'm trying to find some information on it here. I've never seen that before. It looks like it's a small little tiny battery.
Interesting. Well, I know. Okay, so.
Or it might be no.
No. I'm looking at it. It does have the 9-volt connector.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
So the problem is where do you put the 9-volt connector? That's the problem.
Right. Where do you have room to try to hide a 9-volt battery? And for me personally, I think that I would probably go the ugly route and just run the wires underneath, like out underneath the pick guard, and then just find some place to Velcro the 9-volt to.
Yeah. No. Here I'm looking at some of these instructions here, and they are using the output jack of the guitar. So they're using the stereo output jack.
They're using the stereo out. I'd have to look at that and see what it's actually doing.
Yeah, it's.
What are these?
I'm just looking at that right now. And
And then another one is the Seymour Duncan blackouts, and I think I've looked at these before, or because I swear I was looking at Seymour Duncans.
all right, Seymour Duncan is a good pickup. No problem. Well, actually, both of the companies that we mentioned here are very good. But and also you got Fishman too. They're a good pickup company also. But I'm sorry, what were you going to say about the Seymour Duncans?
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't think I'm looking at the picture now, and I don't think it was the blackouts, but I know that when I was, at one point in time, I was looking at the possibility of swapping out one of my double humbuckers for passive, and I think that's why I didn't, was because now I had to figure out where I'm going to put the battery. But I think I was looking at a set of active Seymour Duncans, but I don't think it was the blackouts. And I've never heard of Fishman, but it looks like so far, I didn't see what was the price on those EMG 8185s. They were $200.
Yeah, I think that's for both of them.
Yeah, and the Seymour Duncan blackouts looks like about $220. I don't know how much those Fishmans are, but I mean, so you're looking at $200 to $225 somewhere in there for a set of active pickups.
Yes, you are.
But what's cool about these is that now you get the Quick Connect. Do they make the Quick Connect kit for passive pickups?
They do. Oh, what's that company that? Remember, I sent you there one time about they had a Les Paul. It was only like $300 or something. Some guy did a review on it.
No, I'm sure you did send it to me, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, they had a kit where they have a whole bunch of pickups, and they have it's a thing that they're just boards in there. You can take it, instead of soldering, you can screw everything down. There's a set screw for the wiring and stuff like that. Actually, pretty cool. So, I mean, I haven't used them, so I don't know much about them, but
I might look into that just because it's cool. But I don't know, I don't think it's worth it unless you're going to, your goal is to swap parts out, primarily your pickups.
Right.
I don't necessarily see the point in it. But, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I still have a box of tuning machines for the Samick that I still have to put on.
Oh, wow.
Because I was kind of waiting until I do a string change. But these are the tuners that match up to the Samick. They're factory. They got to be the factory tuners.
Yeah. I'm still looking out here on a website here,
Okay.
trying to get some information, but it is looking like with these active pickups that the manufacturer, and I'm not sure why this is like this. I'm looking at Seymour Duncan, and they have the blackout. They have a one humbucker, one volume control with blackout modular pickup, and they have the pickup going into the switch on a master volume control, and then from there they come off with the battery, and then from the battery they go to the output jack. I'm not really sure on why it needs to go to the output jack, not unless it's some sort of a power thing.
I don't know. I think it's just neat, that you could do those things. But I don't know. If you have a guitar with passive pickups and you want to try active, I guess $225 and some time to rewire it. Or, I mean, why not just get another guitar?
Well,
I don't know.
It's a lot cheaper. I mean, figure this out. Let's go this route.
Okay.
Let's take a Strat. Or no, I'll tell you what. Yeah, let's take a Strat. It'll be easier.
Sure.
Take a Strat. We go out and we pay whatever amount of money for a Squire or even a Fender Strat. We come back and we put pickups in it. Let's say the pickups are $225. Okay, why not just go out and get a pick guard? You pay another $30, put all the parts into the new pick guard, put the new pick guard into the guitar, test it out, make sure you like it, and then if you don't, you can always go back.
Yeah, that's true, but I guess it makes sense. When you're taking a passive setup, converting it to active, so you've got all the electronics in there now I don't know, not unless there's some way that you can swap passive and active. I don't know.
I'm thinking you probably could on a Strat very easily.
There's got to be a way. I mean, I don't know if it would require two different setups, or maybe if you don't have the battery in the setup, maybe
Right.
everything would work passively.
Well,
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, I'm not really sure too much on it, but I'm willing to give it a try sometime and report back on how things go with it.
Well, do you
So-
remember if the Squire Bullet, you have that right now because I need that set up.
Yes, I do, and
But
I'm just about done with it.
I don't know if that one has the swimming pool in it or not. I don't remember if it's cut out that way or
I think it has the normal cutouts.
yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
I think it has a single, and a humbucker.
I think you might be right. I don't know. Maybe we can find another cheapie out there that has the I mean, well, you don't know it has what it has until you open it up,
That's true. You don't.
which kind of stinks, but because I know, let's see, my Samick, I'm pretty sure is humbucker single humbucker is what it's cut out for underneath the pick guard.
Right.
And I don't remember what the project guitar number 1. I don't remember what the cutout on that was. I'd have to go back and look at the pictures.
No, I think it's single, and matter of fact, I'm almost positive it's single.
That would make sense. That would make sense because you were like, how do you fit humbuckers in a single coil?
That was a last minute deal.
Right. Well, it worked, and it's cool. I love the sound of that thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think I have anything that's got the swimming pool cutout.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. I'm trying to think if I have.
Maybe you know what I'll
Anyway.
do. Maybe I'll look at the those kit guitars where you just buy the block of the body and you paint it all yourself and do all that stuff. Maybe I'll see if I can
Right.
find one of those for a decent price with the swimming pool cutout, and then we can build something from that.
There you go. That'll work.
Because I would be interested to see if you can make it so that you could easily swap out pick guards and be able to swap out between active and passive.
Yeah, that would be an interesting test to do. I mean, I'd like to see how that works out.
Yeah, you got me. I don't know, but I mean, I feel like you could learn a lot by that. And hopefully we have a listener out there that already knows the answer and they can let us know. But
That is true. You know, the listeners need to chime in once in a while.
yeah, we do get a few listeners that'll hit us up on Instagram.
Yep, I know.
I don't think we've seen anything via email, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless you have something else you want to add.
No, I was just looking at the Fishman Fluence modern pickups there, and they're $259 for as of this podcast.
Okay, so a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think Fishman is a higher caliper. At least people pay more for that name. I know that their pickups are in like Taylor's and Martin type acoustic guitars and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and I kind of feel like sometimes you're just paying, you're definitely getting different qualities via different manufacturers and names. And so in some cases, like Gibson, to me, you're paying for the
Right.
name.
Oh, I think-
Fender, you're paying
I think
for
you
the
are in
name.
a way. The name is, yeah. I think you're paying for some of it to be the name. I mean, the guitars have gotten very expensive lately.
That's the cost of wood, and plus, everything is going up in price. And I'm looking on a website here just to be like, oh, show me guitars that have active versus passive pickup configurations. Guess what?
What did you find?
It's not even an option in the search.
Really?
Yep, I can choose pickup configuration, humbucker, humbucker single, but I don't see anything here. I'm left-handed, right-handed, bridge type, fingerboard material, nut width. I don't see anything for active versus passive on this particular website. That is a lost opportunity, Guitar Box.
Yep.
Let's try Street Puddle.
Yep. There you go. I don't know if Street Puddle will have it listed like that.
Well, you know what?
I mean, they might call it a different name too. I mean, they might have two different names for the guitar too.
Let's see here. In stock, brand, price, financing type of deal, series, body shape, number of strings, left-handed body material, body finish, fingerboard nut tailpiece pickup configuration. Let's take a look at that. No, that's the same. Bridge pickup, humbucker single coil, neck pick humbucker single coil. Nope, nothing there. I'm just gonna go ahead and Schecter. Let's try Schecter guitar. No, Schecter guitars. Let me see if maybe I focus in on a name brand. And no, my filters are availability. Guitars. Okay, category electric, acoustic, electric. Yeah, doesn't look like I have an active versus passive option.
Wow, I'm surprised. I thought that there were a bunch of companies out there that did that.
Now I'm just going to type in active pickup electric guitars.
Okay.
And see what so they're just showing me pickups. That's all they're showing me. I don't know. Maybe there's just not enough out there to warrant making the search criteria for do I want active pickups versus passive pickups. But on two main websites that I look at, I did not see the option to filter active versus passive.
The only thing I really want to stress is you're going to have a lot more work to do if you go all active, if you're going to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And, passive is they work without any battery, but when you go active, you're going to need that battery, and that battery's the problem.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, but in my case, it's a problem.
I don't know. In my case, it'd be fun to play around with. I'd be interested because I don't know how it sounds different. So would I own one just to have that experience and gain that knowledge? Sure. But for an everyday instrument, probably going to go passive.
Right.
Makes sense.
I know. I'm going to stay passive too, but I am going to try the active someday.
Yeah, I think, like I said, what I'll do is I'll look and see if we can find a swimming pool body kit and maybe build from that.
Yep, that'll be interesting because trying to figure out where to put the battery.
Well, the good news is that it won't have any paint on it or anything like that. So if we need to cut a hole or drill something, we don't have to worry about it too much. All right. Well, yep. I mean, that was a good conversation on the difference between active and passive pickups. So we're pretty much out of time for this episode. Amanda should be back next episode. I think if I'm not mistaken, if the stars align, we're going to play ourselves a game of Guitar Jeopardy, which should be really fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I think we're going to have John on. He's one of our listeners, and he's going to be the host for Guitar Jeopardy. Ask us some questions, and or I don't know, I guess give us some answers, and then we have to ask the question. Is that it? I don't remember how Jeopardy works.
No, you have to put the answer in the form of a question.
Oh, that's the key. That's the key. So it should be funny. Should be fun. And, yeah,
it sounds good to me.
Tune in.
And hopefully it'll be the three of us and we'll get the whole thing rocking.
All right. Sounds good. We'll catch you next episode.
Yep. Goodbye, everybody.